In this video, I'll be reporting from the Charge and Drive event I attended in my local town of Brighton in the UK. This is a new event organised by the Brighton Council, which recently announced that it will be installing 6,000 curbside electronic vehicle charging points throughout the entire city. To coincide with this announcement, the Charge and Drive event was set up to help educate and inform potential EV owners about the available EV brands on offer and the ability to test drive some of them. Since it was so local, I couldn't pass up the opportunity to jump in a few new EVs, ranging from affordable models by MG to more premium offerings from brands like Tesla. But the EV I was most looking forward to trying was the all-new Renault 5. So without further ado, let's jump into my first test drive.
Right, so our first drive is the Smart #1, and we're in park at the moment. We're going to swap it down to drive. And we've got like 15 minutes. Oh, furry anthracite sort of steering wheel here. And we're just going to drive through this little small section, which is roughly about 20 miles an hour, and then we'll just get back on. And I've got 15 to 20 minutes, but it all comes down to the traffic up here and how good that is. Fairly quiet ride. This is like a small sort of compact SUV, and we've got some serious people struggling on the bikes here, which eats up time. We've got a nice multifunctional display. There's also heads-up display you might be seeing there, and some metal pedals, and the basically showing us the 20 miles an hour and the speed current. This hasn't actually kicked back in yet. I think we can exit this. And we've got a nav. Not sure where the home is. Maybe up here. You've got like a navigation thing. You've got navigation and music. Obviously CarPlay is going to work in that too. Big sort of center console, cubby hole. It's quite high up, and you do wrap your knees on the edge here, but it kind of curves over. And the view is not too bad at the back. Got a sort of console thing up here. There's no sunroof. The seats are fairly quite decent actually. Firm but supportive. And let's get out of this little bit slip road here. So down here we've got two USBs, one power and one looks like it's data for CarPlay. You got the multi 12-volt adapter here at the side. You've got a place for your phone, which doesn't look like it charges. It's not wireless. Yes, it is. It's charging now. So you've got some pedestrians being tracked, cyclists, which is cool to see. So that's the overspeed. So it's definitely got a grunt there. I don't know if this is the R-Bath version. And you've got a little fake noise there as well. This is cool. This has got a beat system on the tweeters here. So I'm sure that's going to have good bass as well. And it's probably got a subwoofer built in. Cup holders, which can be covered. And sort of metallic kind of switches. Yeah, it's nice for a smart car. Quite compact. The smart cars are quite stationary in the dealership, they're saying. And that would mean that I could probably get hold of one for a bit and get some extra time with the car. which way shall I go? Shall I give it some beans? Yeah, let's go right. That's the indicators. Don't know what you feel about those. So it's saying 70 here, which is completely wrong on this little bit of road. Right, let's try a bit of a launch. Right, let's go. So that's pretty rapid. You do get pushed back in the seat, which is a surprise for this type of car. It looks a little bit more sedate on the outside. I really do think this is the R-Bath. That's Fiat, not Smart. So is it Brabus? So I'm just going to go round. Good brakes, not too spongy like the Cupras. Here we go, ready? Right, no, right. 50. So we're on 63 miles. I don't know if that's miles done today. 26% on the battery. Yeah, Brabus is on the bottom right here there, so that is good. This is like the high-end line then, basically. It's going to have all the bells and whistles, and yeah, I'm impressed. It's even got the sellotape film on this one, so yeah, these cars do sit around for a while apparently. Don't know if that's a good or a bad comment to be made from the dealer. It means that they're not being sold, but this is the Brabus more expensive version, so I'm not quite sure how much that is. I'll put that down below, but I'm expecting it to be a little bit pricey for what you get. But you got definitely nice viewing over the top here. The dash is quite short, which is nice, and you got a glove box there, which is quite full, unlike some others. I would have thought the Brabus version would have a sunroof, but it doesn't. Alright, let's see if we can get back in 10 minutes. Looks like the BYD are drivers as well. Got a compartment behind your bit there, and it's like cooling as well, so that's cool. Yeah, that would get quite annoying. Good visibility in the mirrors. They're not as long, they're quite short, but they've definitely got the height, so it kind of gives you that kind of SUV kind of feel to it. And there is blind side warning indicators as well on this version. Small little stamp there that lights up. So that is good. And as for the wheel, it's nice, got a squircle-ish kind of feel to the wheel. It's got a bit of a ridge here, which would annoy me a little while, but you don't really feel it too much. But this anthracite might wear down over time. And you've got physical buttons here for volume and track seeking. Got Ford Explorer, I'll be in that at the very end of the test drives. That's going to be my last one of the day. I'll be in that. It looks like someone else is in the driver's seat there, so it might not be solo drive. You can opt to do that though, but yeah. So just a little bit of a recap on the event. It's held by Brighton Council. I just spoke to one of the reps and they said that it's all about educating people about the charging infrastructure of EVs in Brighton and its surrounding area. So it's just to educate people with an event like this, but the fact that it's not really that well documented, it feels that they're not going to get the kind of footfall that they actually need. So let's get in front of this bus. Right, so that's the first drive of 5. See you on the next one.
My next test drive was in the MG4 Long Range Trophy Edition. It was a driver accompanied test drive, so I wasn't able to record my full impressions during my time with the MG4. However, after some discussion with the rep about what I do, I was able to pull out the camera and film at least half of the journey back to the event. The MG4 was a decent drive. However, due to its price point, there were some compromises in quality and overall feel that reflected its more affordable entry-level status. Its interior, although basic, was familiar and classic, very reminiscent of older cars. I can see the MG4 being a comfortable transition for those looking for their first EV without having to deal with the complex and sometimes confusing interiors seen in many modern EVs today. But with that said, I found the instrument cluster display and the main screen a little bit cheap looking, almost like someone had slapped an Android tablet onto the dashboard. And lightweight buttons and large slabs of piano black plastic further cheapened the look and feel inside the cabin. The drive, however, was decent and the cabin was quite roomy. And as you expect from an EV, the MG4 had good acceleration and could comfortably carry several passengers and a fair amount of luggage, which is comparable to a petrol-powered car of similar size, price and performance. Visibility was good all round, including the mirrors and rear view, which weren't particularly restrictive. The 10.25-inch display is standard across all 4 MG4 trims, from the basic SE to the Trophy extended range. This display felt a little bit underwhelming considering the size of the displays that are now found in modern EVs and the price you're paying for such a small central screen. For its demographic and price range, I can imagine the MG4 X-Power model with its 429 horsepower could be a lot more fun compared to the roughly 200 horsepower of the standard premium model that I was driving. The MG4's exterior design is a bit space age and adventurous, and I feel it could look dated just after a few years. But if you're looking for an affordable entry into EV ownership, the MG4 is likely to be on your shortlist. The overall quality didn't quite match the price tag, and if it were my money, I'll be looking at alternative EVs in this price range, especially when leasing, as more premium feeling options might be available at a similar monthly cost. My time in the MG4 was short, but it was certainly worth test driving to get a sense of what you can expect at this price bracket. Now on to my next test drive.
Right. Okay. Right, so we're in a Tesla 3, Model 3. This is the new version, and we'll be testing this for the same amount of time. You can see there, you've got the all the special gizmos going on, the cameras feeding in all the content, and it's a nice, I can understand why people like the Model 3. This is my first drive in the Model 3. I've had a good chat with the guys. I know Tesla's getting quite a lot of flack at the moment, which is a bit understandable, but personally, you know, you got to give credit to the actual manufacturing of it. They've done a stellar job with EV vehicles and the attention of EV vehicles. You've obviously got a very, very, very minimalist cockpit interior. You've got the one display here. Doesn't have CarPlay. Big sticking point for me in getting a Tesla. But you've got a nice one pedal drive as well. A car doesn't creep, actually stops. And it's a very feather light throttle pedal even. The nose dips forward, so you've got lots of good visibility. Not a fan of white seats. I feel that's a bit overkill for a car. I can imagine it being a bit cooler in the summer, but you also got cooling seats as well, which I'd like to try out actually, but I don't know again how to get into the main menu. I think it's down here. No. Car. So we're going to give it the beans a little bit later, as much as we can legally. Obviously the speedo is always on your left. You don't have heads-up display. I think that's something Tesla could do with. Again, with the indicators, it's like these buttons here. I would have liked this screen to be a little bit more angled towards you as well. That would be nice to see. Okay, we've got a green here, so we're going to go for it. Pressing the button to left, and it lights up the left hand, so it covers all your sort of blind spot. We'll give it the beans. Oh my god, that's very good. I like that. That was good. It really pushes you in your seat a lot more than any other car that I've experienced so far. My Brighton is quite close, but this feels much more tighter of a punch than the Bourne. Right, so that's us waiting for the lights. Automatic brake, and obviously the gear selector is swiping up and down here, and tapping and holding here will put you into park. You can see it's detecting even cars through the pylons here, as well as the lights for that section, so it's quite intelligent. And what's a car or a truck? You've got a bus coming past in a minute. Will it detect that? No. Yeah, going backwards. We've got autopilot, charging, and things like that. Here we go, climate. We've got seats, cool. Let's see, I can feel something going on. Oh yeah, that is cooling. It's cooling my top end of my buttocks. That's going to be really nice in the summer. So they also told me, even though Brighton hasn't got a car dealership, and the closest one is probably Crawley, they say that there are Teslas in a business car park that you can get test drives up to an hour in, which I think is really cool. So there's basically Teslas located in regions, and you can then hire that out. You call them up and they call you back after, in the first 5 minutes of picking the car up, to make sure that you're comfortable with it. And And then, yeah, you got the car for an hour, which is pretty cool to learn about the car and how it feels. They were talking to me about the new Model Y, which is currently at the a marathon this weekend or today. And yeah, it's very cool that this new Model Y is getting a lot of interest apparently, and the Model Y is the more core favourite model than it's the core favourite model than all the others, the Model Y. So I'm gonna drop in here. So tapping the button again will turn off the indicators. The mirrors aren't too bad. They're a bit square. I think they're a bit dated. Those mirrors, they could be a little bit more smoother, curved, a bit more modern. They're quite small. The rear visibility is good though. That small little headrest is not intrusive. Alright, let's do a bit of punch. So we'll go around the roundabout and come back again in a second. But it's got a very good driving position. The wheel is a nice size. I absolutely hate the yoke that they've gone with. But they need to build the Model 3 with an indicator stalk, personally. I know they're going to try and ride that control. And apparently it's got automatic reverse and drive, like an intelligent way of doing it. So I don't really know how that works, but right, so we're gonna go around here. There's no one behind, or gonna be behind us. All right, let's go. Yeah, that's really nice and fun. That's a fun drive. We'll just keep it to the limit for now. And yeah, it's a nice, it really is point and steery. You've got a nice sunroof. It's a very sunny day today, but I'm not feeling the sun through that coating that they've got on it. It feels still quite cool here. Plus I've got that cooling off the chair going on. I can see yeah, how the Model 3 does very well. Down here we've got some enormous cavernous cubby holes down here, cup holders, and you can close that, and it automatically closes as well. I'm going to overtake this person. We've got a light coming up here. We could do maybe a stop start. No, too late. So let's go. Yeah, it's pretty mad, the acceleration on this car. I don't know if this is the dual motor. If it's not, this is more than enough. I'll ask the guys in a minute when I get back. If it's not the dual motor, then this is very, very punchy for what it is. And it's a nice screen, I can understand. It's very good spec on this. I don't know how you talk to it and the voice. Is it "Hey Tesla"? No. Tesla? Hey Tesla? No. I'll stop trying. I'm not a big fan of white in car interiors. I had a red Z4 and that was my limit of fancier colour in a car interior. I prefer it to be a lot more sedate and dark, especially if you've got kids. That white seat is going to be ruined. at best. But nice drive, I like it. A bit probably out of my budget range though, unless there was a really good deal on, and it would definitely have to be a dark interior. But it's, even though it's a saloon, you feel that it's not a big car because of this frontage is quite low. Again, like the #1, the cockpit was narrower in depth, so it didn't feel like you're driving an enormous big chunky car. I like to see what the Y is like. I should have probably asked to drive that, maybe next time, or I'll do a Y test drive in Brighton perhaps, if there's some available. But you are sitting quite low, lower than what I'm used to in other EVs. It feels more natural, naturally lower. Very good audio. You can't really hear, even though it's a windy day today. I didn't really hear the wind, and the road noise is not bad, considering. I know they've got like this deadening material inside the tyres, Teslas. I'm not sure many other brands that do that. I'm assuming that it's also in this car as well. But yeah, it's nice. I've not even touched the brake yet. It's got a very potent brake system. Probably actually using the brakes rather than any sort of regen. If there is regen involved, then I couldn't feel it. And this is a certain blue colour. I can't remember what the blue colour is called, but I do like the Quicksilver colour. White's good as well. I don't mind white cars. But this is my first drive in a Tesla, and colour me impressed. I think it does drive really, really nicely. Right, time to park up this car and wait for the next one, which is a Renault 5. And that's the one I'm actually looking forward to. Alright, see you on the next one. Right, so we're in the Renault 5, the new Renault 5. Everyone's got all the attention on this car today. It's a nice sporty blue version with decals. I took a little quick video of it today. You've got a very nice small but very nice infotainment display, ready to rock. So let's get going. You've got a very squircle. And that's going to be our last car today after this one. Right, and we're off. So we are in the Renault 5, and this is our 4th out of 5 test drives today at the Charge event in Brighton. I've racked my seat height up a little bit. I like to be a bit higher than normal. Very little visibility in the rear. I would be tempted to take those rear headrests out. Good visibility in the mirrors though, and I think I can adjust. I don't know how you do that. Should have done that when I launched. But got a nice squircle wheel, more flat top and flat bottom. Probably a little bit nearer for me in the reach. I've got little beeps there because we're just doing just over 20. And it's getting a lot of attention, this car today. They should be literally, it was the first one to sell out of all the test drives, which I'm no doubt about that actually happening. They've got a very good setup. Don't know what that was, Sussex EVs. have to check them out. And yeah, so this is like a B segment car, I would say. It's definitely not C class. It's smaller than the Golf, but it feels fairly roomy. I'd say it's on par with the Mini Cooper SC and that I drove, and also the Peugeot E208. It's very similar to that as well. Got some good timing with the lights here, but I don't know if I'm going to get those in time. It comes with Google Automotive platform, so you can see Google down here, and also Google Maps up there too. And we're driving in sport mode at the moment with 4.4 kilometers, 4.4 kilowatts per hour. Let's give it the beans. Now, being front wheel drive, you've got a little bit of torque steer. Surprisingly, we're driving in the wind today, and I'm surprising that the wind noise is very, very good. We'll try that again in at speed in a minute. Got good, decent brakes. And I've spoken to their guy, and we're definitely gonna get together, and I'll do a longer video on this. I'll also get in the car as well for a good point of view drive, but I thought I'd jump in this one today and see, get at least some hour or minutes even behind the wheel. This is a test car Aceman today. They're taking us out for about, I'd say, a 3-mile sort of return trip, which is not bad. There's a bit of a blind spot here, but luckily they haven't actually put anything there apart from the start-stop button. I'd say the display, this isn't too chunky, and the display sits in there quite nicely. No heads-up display though, and I don't think there's even an option for heads-up. And we got physical buttons, which is like the Megane, which is really, really nice to see, with some plastic detail. Down here we've got 2 USB-Cs. Alright, let's go. It's a very gradual acceleration on the even though we're in sport mode. It's not instantly torquey like the Model 3 was. I would be a bit more overtakey on them, but I'm not going to do that. Not so much bings and bongs at the moment, so that's really nice to see. I like their Google integration. That's really, really nice on the front here. That apparently passes through. If it's anything like the Megane on CarPlay, that will pass through onto this display as well. And I'm hoping this will go full screen, because this is a bit awkward. Alright, let's give it a bit of welly. I would personally bring this wheel a bit backwards. There you go. And a bit higher as well. Don't do this at home, kids. Not when you're driving. That's a bit better. So it's pushed the wheel a bit closer to the display, so the display isn't so tunnel vision through the back here. So we're going to come down to the roundabout and back again. The indication is nice and soft. It's not in your face as it was on the Smart. That was very loud. Quite bitey brakes, which is nice. Right, around here then beans it again. Again, bit of torque steer from the, but it's very subtle in its delivery, which is not too bad. So I've got 15 minutes. This guy's going a bit too slow. So we are in B as well. We can flick it down, and now we're in drive, which means it's going to more sort of coast. I don't believe it has one pedal braking. I'll try that out in a minute. You've got a handbrake down here. It's not Megane has a park mode on the stick. That's not available on the 5. We've got window washer wipe stalk here, indicators and lights on the left hand side, and below here we've got the standard Renault feature, which is their media controls for volume, joggle as well for the different radio stations and things. So I can hit that hopefully and go full screen. There you go, that's much better. But it's very nippy, not nippy, but it's very go-kart like, and it really does feel like you're gonna give it the beans, but it doesn't give that kind of sense of delivery as I'd expect a little mini car that looks like this to be. But we'll whack it in B and see what the braking's like. Yeah, definitely bit there. We're definitely going to catch some lights in the future, so we'll look out for that. But it's a 30 down here now. Not bad visibility in the mirrors. They're a bit taller than they are wider, but they've got good distance. As I said earlier, the rear view is pretty much non-existent in a car like this. The chairs are really nice and comfy though. They're very similar to the Meganes. I'm impressed with that. And they're not too thin. And I'll try and get in the back here. If I can't, I'll do it when I next see them and get behind the wheel. So we're off the brake here. It's going to keep creeping. So, but very bitey brakes. Lights are on auto. But yeah, it's a nice little car. Got some fabric up here. I don't know how that's going to work over a test of time. And a little mini glove box, which is not too bad. And you've got some volume controls up here as well. Should the passenger want to control the volume, it's not in the front, it's up top. Not so much piano black plastic on the lower surfaces, which is really good. That would have been a bit annoying, but there are a few up front to give you that kind of shiny look. I don't know if we've got some sort of cruise. Yeah, lots of torque steer on that. But yeah, it's getting all the looks today because it is completely new. Don't really see this on the road yet much, and I don't think people are even getting their orders yet, or they're just starting to. I know Johnny from on YouTube, he's got his long-termer from Renault, so he's definitely going to be using that. So they're definitely around for public ownership, so that's cool to see. So we're definitely going to see a lot of them on the road, and because of the price is actually quite reasonable, we're definitely going to see a lot more of these on the road alongside its other cheaper EVs such as the Twingo and a couple of others. Yeah, it's definitely turning heads. So 15 minutes until my last test. This is the one I really wanted to see today out of all the 5 cars. I really love the look of the Renault 5. They've done a really good job, and the turbo looks a bit out there. It's not something I would go for, and I do feel like they've built it for like as a track day car. And surprisingly, from what I've seen in the reviews, the boot in this car is very good. Also, almost class leading, I would say, in terms of the volume. But the ride is soft. The guy says something about adaptive suspension or something, or adaptive something. Oh my god, this guy's like right up my side. You go for me. You've got lots of options here. But we're going in to the left hand side, and we'll round up the end of this test drive. One more to go, and that will be the Ford Explorer. So I'll see you then.
The next test drive was in the all-new Ford Explorer EV. The Explorer is a smaller crossover, or SUV, with a footprint that's slightly longer and taller than my Cupra Born EV. Built on the same shared MEB platform, I immediately noticed how similar everything felt when I got into the driver's seat. The dials and switches were identical to my Born, including the instrument cluster and gear stalk. However, the Explorer uses a more vertical central display, similar to what you'll find in the new Ford Mustang Mach-E. The model I drove was the high-end premium extended range version, which starts at a hefty £54,000 before any extras or colour options. While the ride was smooth and spacious, both inside the cabin and in the boot, the price feels excessive for what you're getting. The Explorer is a big wedge of a car, although it shares a similar footprint to my Born. Its front bonnet is raised significantly higher to give it more of a SUV-like appearance. This is also done with a squarer rear end, which allows the boot to offer a lot more extra usable space. It's also heavier than the Born and less aerodynamic, which will generally affect its overall range. Between the Explorer and the Capri, I personally would choose the Explorer for its roomier interior, both for passengers as well as cargo. Hopefully, I'll get more time with both models, as well as the Puma, later this year. So that concludes the 5 test drives I had booked at the Charge and Drive event. I really enjoyed the performance of the Tesla, and I hope to check out the Model Y someday to see how it all compares. The Smart #1 Brabus Edition was a well-rounded EV, full of premium features and high-quality materials. But sadly, I wasn't a fan of its rounded exterior styling. The MG4, in contrast, had a more adventurous exterior, but felt budget-friendly inside. The Ford Explorer offered a solid comparison to my Cupra Born in terms of size and format, but I still prefer the Born's interior styling and infotainment setup. But the real star of the show was the Renault 5. It's a great little car with impressive efficiency, even after several test drives in sport mode. I like the interior, which was comfortable and has some unique design elements, and you do seem to get quite a lot for your money. I would have preferred a larger display, but perhaps a big screen would have been a little bit too overwhelming for such a small, compact interior. One of my real gripes was with the sport mode, which could have been a little bit more punchier, but overall the drive was definitely fun. The rear space and entry access was also a little bit tight, so while it might suit 2 adults with 2 small kids, larger families might find it a little bit too cramped. Still, the Renault 5 was absolutely worth the test drive, and I hope to spend more time with it, along with the Megane E-Tech again, in the coming months. So stay tuned for that. Until then, thanks for watching, and I hope you found this video helpful. If it has, give us a big thumbs up down below and let me know in the comments what kind of EV you're looking into getting, or any other EVs that you have any interest for on the horizon. If you like this content and you'd like to support the channel, you can do so by sending me a super thanks on YouTube, or hit the link in the description down below to buy me a coffee, and you can support me there too. I really appreciate it. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.